delay. There's some technical issues there. I hope they've been resolved now. So just back onto topic with Anton and Chris. Anton, I'd like to start with you on this one. Broad spectrum World Cup predictions for this year.
Okay, no, this is a good one. Look, man, I know Ireland is number one in the world. I think that, if I'm correct, the opening match I think is who is it? France, New Zealand.
Yeah,
I think so. I think that will be a good indicator of who we're going to see getting towards semis and finals. I feel that Ireland, I don't know, it's almost like, the Proteas in cricket. They can be number one in the world, but when it comes to World Cups, we seem to choke. I sort of feel that the Celtic teams like Ireland, Wales, Scotland, I just feel on the bigger platform, I can't see them. I don't know if they'll beat South Africa and particularly in New Zealand. So for me, I think New Zealand, irrespective of where they are in the log, irrespective of how they're looking coming into the competition, I'm always going to put them as a perennial favorite. I do think South Africa can clinch it again.
I think we're always in with the chart, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested. I know, like, France hasn't been particularly strong, and certainly Ireland looks like the better team out of the European sides. But I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. If you would, France, there's something about them in World Cups. They seem to perform. I mean, Chris is the betting man. I'm going to bet on Ireland.
No, you're totally right. I would also be very nervous about Ireland, even though they are clearly the best team at the moment and playing the best. But I'll tell you, I've been eyeing this French team out for a long time, and since they even got to host this World Cup, it just feels that it's just everything is pointing to them and this World Cup. Like this is it. This is everything for them. It's at home. They obviously they conked out when it was last year in 2007 when we won. So I was always still, even last year when France beat Ireland in the Six Nations, I called that Ireland would beat France because I still thought France were the better team, and they were. But they have gone off the boil a little bit, and if you can even say so, Ireland seem to be improving. But I just think when it comes down to the World Cup, and I hate to say it, it's gonna come down to margins, ref calls. It's very tough to call. Something in my bones tells me that France are gonna get a few hometown 50-50s to get them over. I'm not saying that it will happen, but I just feel like that's how close it's going to be. But to be honest, between the top four teams, and you're right, New Zealand are never out of it. You cannot write them off. And even the Boks, even though I'm not sure the Boks will get it done this time, but geez, it's such a pity with the draw, right? I mean, if this was the semi-finals, it would just be a dream come true. But even though Ireland have been super impressive, but then my France that I've been backing came to the party on Saturday. So I'm going to stay in my French cap. I think France at home are going to just when they put it, for me, when France want to, maybe Ireland as well, but for me, the Ponts and a few of the players have a bit more X factor than Ireland. They have one or two more game breakers. So for me, it's still France.
I think, Chris, that it's fair to say that this is definitely a golden generation for the French. I think that's fair.
They've been building for this for a long time. This team that's come through the ranks, and they've been finally we have a well-coached French team, right? They've always had the players, but they were just too loose, right? They're ill-disciplined, weren't sure if they're going to play, but now they've finally got that discipline and they're coached properly, and now we're seeing France be a powerhouse, and if they keep it this way, they shouldn't tail off. But so it's so interesting, yeah.
While we're on the topic there, Chris, so obviously it sounds to me like your heart is saying France. What is? I mean, you may not have done.
Am I head?
What is the betting man saying at the moment about odds at this point in time?
Well, I don't have the odds on me. I think France, Ireland are now favorites. Let's have a quick look. But you can get France or Ireland close to just over even money. I think it's not much difference between the two.
Okay.
And then New Zealand come just
at the moment.
Yeah. It's pretty close between the two in the bet. And obviously Ireland's storming at the moment, so they've come into favourites now that they're number one in the world and so on. And in South, but you know what, but in terms of betting, guys, South Africa is at 5-1 now, 4 or 5-1. So anyone who is wanting to place the bet, now is the time to place the bet on the books, because when we were doing well and ranked number 1, we were lower. So the value is certainly now on the books. If you can get 4-1, 5-1, we're in. That's a really good chance, because we do have a very good chance.
Well, you heard it here first on Forever Sports. Box a bet. And I will give you Chris's home address if that goes wrong.
I'm not saying we'll win, but put a bit of beer money on there and enjoy the tournaments. But it's very hard to call. I don't even know if it's worth betting on France, because it's just too tight.
Yeah, definitely the best way to bet is with money that you won't miss.
Correct. That's the strategy, guys.
So talking about France and segueing into this past weekend's results, I'd like to start with the Italy versus Wales game. A rather surprising improvement by the Welsh, coming out with a fairly comfortable victory over an Italian side who have been looking very good, but in hindsight now over this tournament may not have quite performed to what the expectations were. They're showing glimpses of brilliance, but as we know, glimpses are not good enough to get you over the line. And with 0 wins in this tournament, one has to wonder, was it just a bit of hype? Or have Wales just really improved that much? Anton, I don't know if you had a chance to watch the game. If not, have you watched any of the Six Nations, and what's your general impression so far?
Look, I think the Six Nations is a great product in terms of it's just so good watching this atmosphere, the stadium, the production. I really enjoy it. And I mean, watching, Italy out there in Rome, perfect day. I also have been, whatever the format is, whether it's, Curry Cup, I was saying earlier, it's nice to see the Griffins performing well. I've been quite happy to see Italy, I think by their standards, performing quite well. And, I think their opening try of the game, they had a lot of phases. So it's like showing some quite impressive rugby. I mean, I thought Negri, the South African, scored. The Welsh, it's almost like I thought kind of impressive I thought it was more impressive for Italy than Wales, even though the Welsh won. I don't know about you guys, but it's just like there's not too much to write home about the Welsh, it seems like.
Yeah, I tend to agree. My general impression was simply that if you were to watch the short and highlights package of that game, you'd see that a lot of what went Wales' way was individual plays. Liam Williams scored a fantastic solo try. And so there wasn't much to say in terms of a progression in what I would call a team performance. And so it seemed like to me a bit of a lucky one-off. I definitely won't be putting my money on Wales anytime soon. I wonder how much time does Warren Gatland have on the clock?
We'll definitely take them to the World Cup, but their rugby is very off, and I think I said to you last week that I wasn't. We did use the word hype. I wasn't on the hype train. I did think Wales are playing badly. They're the worst we've seen them probably in a long time. But I also just watch a lot of Italian rugby, and I'm not convinced by Italian rugby. Like, I thought the game played out exactly. Yeah, Wales got lucky, but they were on the front foot. I just think, even on paper, ability, team matchups matter, and Wales still have more of the class and on the field. And we've been saying this about Italy. I give them credit; they are certainly improving, but they're still not winning tier 1 matches by a long shot. I mean, that's what I say. You need to look at their record. They don't win almost any at all, and they're ranked 15 and 14 in the world. You got Fiji, Georgia, Japan, all above them. So, I mean, we can hype them up, but they're not a really good international rugby side. They've got a great attitude. Their domestic scene is improving. And I think, it's also like, this the thing with Italy, it's like a broken record. But I actually was thinking about this over the week and watching them again just blunder. It's like almost like when they actually see the opportunity to take the game, they panic. They mess it up. It's almost too big for them in a way. If you watch them if you watch clinical teams, and they've been doing this ever since I can remember, their players are getting better, but I just think they need to just got to keep plugging away. But I hate to use the word limitations, but Italian rugby has limitations. It's the reality. They're not.
I would say, Chris, I totally agree with you, and I think that the hype train was definitely just a little overworked at the time. And Anton, if I could throw the question back to you, and I mean, of course, we are all box supporters here, so it's very easy for us to endear ourselves to that kind of style of gameplay. But when you're a bottom tier team like that, surely it's better to win ugly rather than lose pretty. And I think that might be their problem right now. And maybe they should be adopting a bit of a lesson from in the rest of the world's opinion, sort of grunt and push mannerisms in winning a game.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe the problem is sort of like Chris said, they're a union country with limitations. And I think because they so rarely have experienced wins and victories, they're almost not that familiar with like just winning full stop. So I feel like the distinction between ugly rugby that gets it over the line and, gets the points, as opposed to flowing rugby, I get the feeling that they're kind of like just stoked about whatever happens. So they're throwing the ball around and they're scoring, and it's just like, they're beating their previous expectations, or they're better than they were. But I think they would have to go level up. I also, I don't know if they've got the culture or the depth to suddenly shift to sort of like book rugby. I don't even know if there is a kind of a dominant flair of type of rugby. It's like, in New Zealand they play a particular brand or something. I'm not sure if Italy rugby has any kind of brand to start with.
Yeah, an identity, definitely. All right, to jump on to the next game then, the game of the weekend, in my opinion, is England versus France, which I'm sure ruined a lot of Englishmen's weekend, which makes me incredibly happy. An absolute drubbing. I believe it was 54-10. Very possibly the very worst England performance in modern recent history, at least at Twickenham. What do we say to that, gents? I mean, we were all shocked. I certainly was shocked. I couldn't take my eyes off it. France were clinical in every sense of the word. What do we think, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely right. I actually thought, I expected England to be better. France hadn't been really performing to their potential in the comp. So I thought, they're going to come to Twickenham. England got a great record against France at Twickenham, haven't won in 15 years or 18 years. You would have thought that they would have been in the game, but they were absolutely not. So you say like we surprised, yes, but let's be honest, are we really surprised? Because England are trending downwards badly, and they've got some issues there. I mean, they've always got the players, they still have the players, but something is really amiss there. I don't know if it is still a hangover from. I'm not blaming it. I think that that was a mistake. It clearly was a mistake to go of Eddie Jones, but there's something wrong in English rugby that needs addressing. And I mean, Borthwick's done his duties, and with Eddie Jones in the squad, and at Leicester, obviously Leicester did really well. But now we're questioning the quality. I mean, I love the English Premiership, and they get full houses every week, and it's great. But is it what England rugby needs? And I don't even know if Borthwick is the right leader, because I could be wrong, but I was watching a podcast this week that he's not picking Billy Vanapola for some personal beef he had with him a while ago. And if you start hearing stuff like that, because let's face it, Dom Ran's out of his depth. He's not an international 8, and he's getting battered around, making mistakes. And England need grunt. They need like Courtney Laws at 6. So they need something. They've just gone off the boil completely. So maybe it was on the cards. Obviously, World Cup year. I mean, maybe they do improve for the World Cup. I mean, you never write them off. They have been beaten like this previously, but not with a full strength side at Twickenham. I mean, I think that's the problem. But the French from the first minute, right? That try in the second minute was a beautiful try, and it was just writing on the wall. It was just really brilliant from France. So let's see. I'm going to still put my neck out and say that England are going to give Ireland a game. They're not going to win, but it's not going to be a walkover.
Okay. All right. Good to hear. Anton, if I could throw this one to you then. there's no question this is a terrible English performance, and there's no question that it was a fantastic French performance, which was a recipe for disaster all around. But who takes the blame here in this English camp? Where do we assign blame? Do we even care as Box supporters, or are we just enjoying the fact that one of the leading nations in rugby for a very long time seems to be suffering a collapse?
It's taken the gloss off our victory last. I thought it was pretty good. We won well last in November, but this has taken the gloss off that. I mean, how good were England really?
So, Anton, who takes the blame?
Well, look, I think Chris made a good point earlier. It could. I wonder if it's a cultural problem or culture with England rugby. It's like Eddie Jones. There was so much said about him, so controversial. He's out. And all that's happening, and I think Chris said it perfectly, downward trend. It's just like they've been getting poorer and poorer and poorer. Look, I can't stand England, so I get great delight seeing them get smashed, like very joyous for me. But I mean, this is obviously just hearsay and speculation, but like say, when I was involved with the Lions series, and obviously this is Britain and not England, I found the management and the guys on the brief interactions to be incredibly hostile, incredibly unfriendly, real big egos. And I do wonder, and this has probably always been the issue of England sports in general, where guys get way too ahead of themselves, where they win a game and they think they it's Football World Cup, they think they're going to win it when they, some team. So you wonder if it's just maybe an ugly, not functioning culture that now is starting to just implode. And I suppose you got to say then, because now you can't almost blame Borthwick because Eddie Jones was getting smashed, and now is it, and they've got the good players. They've got players who a couple years ago would have been, threatening to be number one in the world. So largely the same players. So you got to think, well, what shifted? And I have to say, as Chris said, downward trend.
Yeah,
just the Watson culture.
What's very interesting to me is these players, like Jack van Poortvliet was brilliant for Leicester. Okay, Ollie Lawrence is the international 12, Henry Slade. These guys play so well in an English Prem, but put them in an England jersey and they half as something's wrong. They don't perform anything like you see Marcus Smith again as well, But when you look at the books, you see how our culture, when someone comes in, they hardly seem to have a bad game when someone gets the opportunity, or even New Zealand, when someone steps up into an international game, it's hardly you see a complete blowout for a train smash from a player. But I don't recognize, because I watch a lot of English Premiership. I watch almost all internationals as well. It's very this English thing is very weird. What's going on, and I would
liken it, Chris, to very much for me. I'm seeing the Bok model. The 2015 to 2019 kind of segment, and I think it started with us smashing them in a final. To be very honest. And I think it was exacerbated by the British and Irish Lions series. And I'm glad that Anton touched on it. And what an experience it must have been for you to be involved with that series, Anton. I think that they needed, obviously they're not all English players in that squad, but a large majority of them are, and they're expected to be front runners in that series. And to get smashed again by the same team who you've just recently lost to, the hostility was felt from an outsider's point of view and a simple spectator that they really wanted us. They wanted to redeem themselves, and you almost felt like that they had banded together as a unit in their hate for the Boks during that series. And so for them to have lost that is a mentally taxing thing to happen. Do you think that? Would you agree with that sentiment that those two occurrences, losing in a final and then a subsequent British and Irish Lions series, how long does the mental effect of those kind of things last on a squad?
Well, I just think when you've got people with high opinions of themselves and egos and stuff, whatever the sport is, whatever code, actually whatever the arena, when that person suffers setbacks or losses, all of a sudden it's hard for them to understand their place in the world, because it's I'm the man, all of a sudden I got smashed, and it's like, well, okay, well, where do I belong? I think absolutely that British and Irish lines, like I just felt it was like quite an ugly vibe. It was like, as you say, hate. Yeah, but I think they've also, they've taken some quite heavy losses across the sort of seasons, and I think, I think it'll be very, very interesting to see how England performs this coming weekend, because either they are like, you know what, we're a strong union, we're gonna bounce back, we've got the depth, we've got the character, or they take another beating. So I know which one I prefer, but I think it'll be really good viewing.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, gents. Let's move on to the very last game of this past weekend. Scotland versus Ireland. In my opinion, a really classy outing on behalf of Scotland and Ireland. And I don't think that either of them would be too upset with the result. I think Scotland showed that they are able to keep up, and it wasn't their day, and Ireland have looked very good recently. And to Ireland's credit, it was a very close first.
Right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. Ireland versus England, the Six Nations. It comes to a close in about 2 hours after this match. This is the final match. The final countdown is underway, and the final anthem is underway as Ireland are currently bellowing it out. And interesting match ahead, really, because England need to have a reaction from last week. They've got to respond. And yet, they're playing against an Irish side who are on the verge of a grand slam and will be looking to end the tournament in the perfect possible way. So, yeah, plenty of pressure on both sides, far more on England, really, than Ireland to go out and win. And, I think it's an Irish side that don't necessarily need to even get out of second gear, and they should be able to do the job. But they can't take the English lightly, who are desperate for a response. They've got to respond because they were woeful last weekend, and so hopefully they'll be looking for a much better performance come today. We've got a poll running in the comments. Please do go and vote on it. Alpha Lincoln says Box end of year result against Ireland France is not important because more a fact finding mission from Box irritates you and SA fans. Based on that, think Big Box don't do well in the World Cup. Martin Lisa says, greetings, just wanted to drop by, show support, leave a like, appreciate your work. Massive hype here in Iron. Fingernails were really true to the elbow, hoping to celebrate the slam. And, as I said, slam is on the cards here. And, jeepers, I mean, Andrew Porter already looks like he's been in the wars. How do you have that much blood in your ear already? Stand tall, shoulder to shoulder, will answer Ireland's call. Thank you, I'll be here all night. Right, come on, lads. I just want a good game now. I want to see a good game tonight. I need to see. We saw what? 9 tries in Wales versus France. I want to see another 9 tries here. I want to see skill. I want to see cool tries. I want to see big hits. I want to see a game which is going to have me on the edge of my seat. You know what I'm saying? You all know what I'm saying. But in terms of the players, they will hopefully be having us on the edge of our seat. Let's go through the lineups, shall we? And a couple of changes, quite a few changes for Ireland, who are very much named their strongest possible side at the moment. But a couple of interesting calls. So if we go through the Ireland side, Andrew Porter, Dan Sheehan, Tyke Furlong in the front row, Ryan Beard next to James Ryan in the second row, Peter O'Mahony, Josh van der Fleer, and Caelan Doris. Josh van der Fleer will be hoping not to be returning to line-out duties today. Jamison Gibson Park back in the side, next to Johnny Sexton, James Lowe, Mac Hansen, the 2 wings, Bundy Aki in the midfield, preferred over Stuart McCloskey, Robbie Henshaw outside him, Hugo Keenan, for me, the best fullback in the world, at 15. The substitutes, Rob Herring, Cian Healy, Tom O'Toole, Kieran Treadwell, Jack Conan, Conor Murray, Ross Byrne, Jimmy O'Brien is a very exciting player. For England, they've gone with very little changes, actually. Ellis Gaines, Jamie George, Carl Sinclair start once again. Mario Tojo, however, has a new lock partner in David Ribbons. Lewis Laidlam, Jack Willis, Alex Dombrandt, the Lucio, Jack van Portleet, partners Owen Farrell, who is back into the starting lineup back at fly half and captaining this side. Henry Rundle into the side, Anthony Watson shipped into the 14, Freddie Stewart at full back. You've then got Mario Tolog and Henry Slade in the midfield. The substitutes are Jack Walker, Michael Vinapola, Dan Cole, Nick Isekwe, Ben Curry, Alex Mitchell, Marcus Smith, and Joe Marchant. Right, we are ready. Ball in hand. And kickoff is just moments away, people. Are you guys ready? That's the question. Get to Greg saying, I need to be humbled from Rexford Island. Well, here we go. Let's see if they're going to be. I'll be very surprised. Jaco Paper, the man, the South African, the representation over there. Right, the green Welsh Grand Sam, as the commentator says, Bundy Aki's first touch of the ball is a good one as well. Must be absolutely rocking over there in Ireland. They've waited a long time for this. And James Lowe bangs the downfield with that huge left boot here. And Freddie Stewart lifts it high in the air and chasing Lowe down to James Lowe. James Lowe is trying to mark it. Good kick there. Jansen gives a puck. Oh, jeepers. He's been nailed there. Freddie, Owen Farrell, he just took great pleasure, I think, and absolutely hammering the scrum half. Just making sure I'm all sketcher. Advanced contact in the air. I think it's against Owen Farrell, which sounds a bit harsh. If it is, I thought it was quite a well-timed tackle. Yeah, he's not impressed. Yeah, I was just in there, I suppose. Just not getting his timing right. Pity, because it was a nice hit from Owen Farrell, actually. I'll be saying that 10, 12, and 13 I've been waiting for from England. Get us saying, Bok fan here still. Well, why wouldn't you be? And why not, eh? Why not? If not, why not? And a good kick there coming here. Dan Sheehan already there, ready to feed the ball into the lineouts. Right, good early line needed cheer from Dan Sheehan. He goes to Peter Omani. Such a good line operator. Goes from the Flair, goes to James Gibson Park to James Lowe, to Bundy Aki. He's a bit stationary and he's wheeled him Omani to a Loggy. Two just massive centers just hammering each other all day is basically what we're going to be seeing tonight, which is going to be fun. Gibson Park goes to, that looks like a James Ryan, I do believe. Gibson Park there to Sexton to Mac Hansen there from Keenan. Mac Hansen stepping inside. What a play he's becoming for Ireland is Mac Hansen. Slow ball here for Gibson Park. Josh van der Fleer pops it up to Sexton, and the ball on the bounce to Andrew Porter. Quick ball now for Gibson Park. Looks at his option, decides to go to Sexton. Sexton spins away from Ellis Genja, presents it. And it's a great turnover coming there from, I think it was Jack Willis there. Owen Farrell hits it at the top. And now a little bit of danger here. Mac Hansen. It's a good tackle there from Henry Slade. And now Gibson Park been caught in the ball by Mario Toje. Mario Toje has actually got a penalty from the side, is the call. Offside is the call. Yeah, Gibson Park thinking about the quick tap, and I'm sure they'll just to go for touch here, lads. Just slow things down. Yeah, much better from England, though, from a defensive point of view. But good line speed here, ready from England, and good to see a bit of intent here. A bit of intent. I think that's what was lacking last week. It's intensity. And turnover ball there for England. So a couple of early mistakes here for Ireland. Here we say Sexton's last match at the Viva Stadium at time next year. I believe if they win, will be an emotional send-off. Yeah, and what a play he's been and continues to be. Really, I think that's the most remarkable thing. Playing in such a prominent position, keeping fit. He has had lots of injury issues, but I'll tell you what, for somebody who has had so many injuries to be able to play at this age. Well, that's a huge majority run. They're coming from Watchalong. This is the England we haven't seen yet. Owen Farrell firing out to Freddie Stewart, steps inside, is tackled by James Ryan, as well as Robbie Henshaw. He's putting a bit of work at the breakdown there. Now carry a little inside ball there to Jamie George. A little bit of flair there from Ellis Genge. Now Carl's thinking that first receiver. A couple of options here, He's going himself though. I think it's Henry Slade with the ball in hand. Back from Portleet to Anthony Watson, who's brought down by Mac Hansen. Much better from England. Now Mario Toje, big hit from him on the two Irish props. Now he's Dornbrandt there. Under a little bit of criticism after last week. Now Henry Slater, first receiver. Popping up to Farrell. Farrell to Stewart. Stewart looking to straighten. Making a few yards as well. This is much better from England. They've actually got a bit of attacking shape here. It almost looks like it almost looks like a rugby team. Because that's not what we saw last week. Owen Farrell going back to his space out wide. Henry Slater trying to get around Bandiaki. He does get around Bandiaki. He does eventually make the tackle. Almost getting a bit high there. Owen Farrell inside ball to Mario Toje. 13 phases from England. Slow ball now for Jack van Portleet. Now that's Ellis Genge now. Carrying it up strong. Yeah, good ball there. Freddie Stewart. Needs to try and find the offload to Henry Randall. No penalty advantage. They're going to go back for the penalty. Look at England, eh? Like, as I said, it almost looks like a rugby team. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Bum, 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 bum. That's a very good start there. Watchalong, smile on his face. When he plays well, he is very enjoyable to watch. You can't deny he's a good player to watch when he's playing well. I'll be saying, who would have thought that putting the best 10, 12, and 13 on England would have been performing? Yeah, I think that they've really been stuffing around with that. And just play Farrell at 10, chaps. Or George Ford. Just don't think that Marcus Smith right now is ready. Play him off the bench as a bit of a wild card, but I just don't think he's right now in the position to be able to manage games, to be able to absorb pressure, and to take the game forward when things aren't going well. You know what I'm saying? Right, Owen Farrell. First kick of the match, 7 minutes. England looking to take a 3-point lead after a very good start, it must be said. Good kick there from Owen Farrell. Pretty much bang in front. Didn't need to be fantastic, but it was a good strike. All right, there we go. Nice positive start. They'll be playing with a bit of confidence now with England after that start, and I think that's the main thing, is they've been lacking confidence, and their confidence will definitely be shot after last weekend, so need to respond, need to find a performance today. Deep restart, and a good carry there from Jack Willis, available for Jack van Portleet. Van Portleet, a good touch. Right up against the touchline is Hugo Keenan. He's got Johnny Sexton beside him. He's going to go himself. Yes, Keenan gets away from one, runs to a bit of a brick wall there. Quick ball for Gibson Park is wanted. And Dan Sheehan just steps onto his right. Now, Joseph Gibson Park lifts it high in the air. Not too many chases. But I think it's Pino Marnie's going to get there. Knocks it back. And Gibson Park is there. And he just sort of hammers it down on the ground. Now, the return from Freddie Stewart bounces just ahead of Hugo Keenan. Not too many players around him, so he'll return the favour as well. Chasers don't kick down. And Freddie Stewart once again going to the boot. Mac Hansen just outside the 22. Goes across to James Lowe. James Lowe's got that big left boot of his, and he hammers it downfield, pretty much centre downfield. And Freddie Stewart. Right, so that's about 7 kicks that we've had. That's a great take from Hugo Keenan. Goodness me. Well above his head. On the ground there. So now we're going to see it might be a bit of variation. No, yeah, they all look to run it. And Randall does take it into contact. And he's straight in front of Andrew Porter, who has gone all over that and won the penalty. Great work there from the loose head. A little bit isolated was Henry Rundle, and everybody was very slow to react. And Andrew Porter puts himself in a great position, wins the penalty. And this is now the opportunity to pull level. Right, now they're going for the corner, by the way. Not taking the 3 points. Not taking the 3 points. I quite like that. Playing with a bit of confidence here, Ireland. Right, on the 22 here, Ireland, a big opportunity for them to try and carve out it's try. Peter Marnie going up as you expect. As I said, very, very experienced line operator here. Bobs up to Jams, Gibson Park goes pretty flat to Sexton, goes pretty flat to Bundyaki back on the angle, just outside 22. Gibson Park popping it up to is Dan Sheehan coming in with a lot of pace there. Robbie Henshaw puts his head down. Sexton inside ball. Oh, Josh Bundy, Flair, what an angle. It's a great tackle, but through the line there. Number 7 on 7. The Jack Willis was very alive to the threat. Tight burn. Oh, the hands here. The hands. James Lowe straightening. Oh, and the ball coming loose. Back off England, I think, is the call. So no penalty. Penalty now for crawling on the ground. So another opportunity at the line out. Some very, what an angle that was. A little pre-planned move, but just to Sexton back inside. They take it quickly at Johnny Sexton. He's actually over. Has he got grounding though? Jakopev's taken a while to get there. Held up as the call. Don't think we really expected Johnny Sexton to take it quickly. And of all people, Johnny Sexton trying to go over himself. And I think John Brandt and Owen Farrell done very well to hold it out. Bit of a bad decision, it must be said, from the Irish captain. Yeah, check. Yeah, there's no grounding yet, so there will be no try. They are going to have a check, but it should be held up, so it'll be a goal line dropout. Is what my thinking is. The question is are they 10? Are they onside? Is probably more what we are checking here. Top Brand saying, "Some I've got a feeling England will take the win." Well, they started pretty well, but if Ireland score early, which I don't think they have, and Jack and Portley was celebrating the hold up there. The question is, were they onside? Is this going to be a penalty? Goal on dropout. So yeah, it's been butchered. That's and you can see why. Farrell's. Johnny Sexton's not happy, but at the end of the day, why did you take it quickly? Are you dumb? Yeah, weird decision. Weird decision. Anyway, nice, frantic, good start to the game. I'm enjoying this. Please do smash like, by the way. It's 144 people watching. Just the 7 likes. Not really acceptable, people. We've got a rookie numbers. We've got to bump those numbers up here. Get involved. Get in the chat here. Johnny Sexton from the restart. Bringing in Caden Doris, who will carry all day, every day. And now Tyke Furlong. Oh, with the ball back inside, but just being knocked on there from Hugo Keenan. Tyke Furlong, some people call him Ty Carter. I can't verify if it's true, but I reckon it should. Now, Henry Slade spots a bit of space out wide. This could be a brilliant kick if the bounce is good. Mac Hansen does get back. And not a good kick from Hansen at all. And all of a sudden, he's gifted England a line out inside the 22. I think that's a terrible kick. And Tyke Furlong, the ball back in from Hugo Keenan. It's actually not a bad pass. Hugo Keenan is straight out. A strange one to knock that on, but especially if somebody with Hugo Keenan's quality. And now England with an opportunity on the 22. Mario Toja goes up and they pop it up. Goes to Jack from Portley. Portley goes to Henry Slade. Brings him on to Alagi on the angle. And Robbie Henshaw was over that. Penalty advantage here for England as well. So a bit of a free roll of the dice here. They go to Jamie George. Owen Farrell. Oh, it's a bit of an interception there from James Lowe, but we'll go back for the penalty. A little wraparound. You're going to see a lot of wraparounds, I think, for both sides, both England as well as Johnny Sexton, obviously. Sexton getting old now, can't really call it a cricket tap. Wow. A man's not respected. Man's got grey hair starting for Ireland. About to win a Grand Slam. Imagine. I've got grey hair just watching the damn thing. Right, it's a penalty here, and I think they're going to take the points here. A bit frustrating from Ireland, who maybe they should have taken the points, you know. Right, there we go. Owen Farrell to double the lead here for England. And what a start this has been. Pretty frantic, nice pace of play here. Albie said, do you think the box will go with the start attack as well? Season's getting such good purchase. You know, I'm very interested to see how we play this year. Because again, you know, I think the Box are a team that don't like to sort of show themselves too early. We saw that even during the World Cup, you know, the mind games that they do play by, you know, switching the style of play and stuff. I don't think we'll ever go away from our DNA, which is having a big, physical, strong pack and a very good defensive game. Good kick here from Owen Farrell. But I do think that we will start to be a bit more expansive. I think the fact that we've seen Damien Williams taking such a big role, we're not binning Billy LaRue, for example, and you know, I think that, you know, Kirkley, Irons, Ches and Colby, just let them cook, really, is what we're trying to say to people. Just let them cook. All right, the restart going to the right-hand side there. Right up against the touchline. And it's actually turnover ball here. It's falling back to Ireland. Peter O'Mahony, oh, look at that for a pass. Oh, look at that for a parry from Dan Sheehan. What a player he is. Jamison Gibson Park now to Johnny Sexton. Johnny Sexton bring it up to Hugo Keenan. He's straight through to Hugo Keenan. Has he got the pace? He's just short. He's 5 meters short here. Gibson Park to Tide Furlong. He's held up, so a bit of a time for England to get back into their defensive structure. Good carry there from Josh van der Fleer, but a bit of a white brick wall there for England. Now Ryan Beard. So James Ryan, rather. Gibson Park to Robbie Henshaw. Henshaw goes to Bandiaki. Big hit on Bandiaki. Sexton inside ball there to Caelan Doris. Not the best carry. Lost a bit of momentum here. I need to sort of reset here. They go Tyke Furlong. He pops it behind everybody. They've lost a lot of momentum now. Now a bit of space now. James Lowe. He's popped it straight at Jack van Portley, who's turned the ball over. And that's a terrible moment from James Lowe. Jeepers me, what was that? Well, from the sublime to the ridiculous, really. Now Jack van Portley asks for a couple of blockers here. Matt Hansen there, going to, and then Hugo Keenan. Now Tyke Furlong. And popping up to Peter O'Mahony. Backwards is the call, and Johnny Sexton takes him to contact. Now gives a park. Thinking about sniping. Caught on the ball. A couple of England players all over that penalty advantage. They were going straight off their feet. So, and for me, if I'm Ireland, you got to take the points here when the penalty is eventually awarded. Just blow the whistle, yeah, because it's not coming out. He does blow the whistle because it's not coming out. Right, come on, surely they're going for the poles here. Not? No? What are we thinking? Poles? Yeah, he's called for his kicking tee. It's the right decision. They've had a bit of a go. They've tried it. It's not working. Get the win first. Get some points on the board, yeah. Build some momentum. The all-time Six Nations joint leading point scorers, 557 points for Johnny Sexton in what is his last Six Nations game. His last game at the Aviva. We are saying goodbye to a legend here today. 37 years old is Johnny Sexton. Turns 38 in July. Will be 38 at the World Cup. Made his debut for Ireland all the way back in 2009, by the way. 113 match for Ireland. He played 6 for the British and Irish Lions. I think he should have come on tour, to be honest, in 2020. 21. Was it 21? Yeah, 21. 21. Can you give me something? Doodle one. And Sexton. Straight over the top. And he moves to the top point scorer in Six Nations history. Just need one. Is he a legend, though? Johnny Sexton. How is Johnny Sexton not a legend? I mean, I know some people don't like him because he bitches at referees. But World Player of the Year. Two British and Irish Lions series. British and Irish Lions series. He won. 112 caps, over 1,000 test points. I think it's pretty safe to say he's a legend. I think it'd be quite harsh to say he's not. He's been nominated for the World Rugby Player of the Year 3 times, by the way, including last year at 36 or 37, I suppose. Didn't expect you to have a trade reference. Oh, come on, man, back me here. Got everything in my locker. Right, test here for Freddie Stewart, who is very good under the high ball, as all England fans will tell you. But back inside their own half, here, England, Jack from Portlead, going to engage at first receiver. That's from the Flair, current World Player of the Year, up nice and quickly. Oh, look at the feature from Ryan Beard. Goodness me. Put him in the back line. Put him in inside centre. Look at the footwork there. Now Peter O'Mahony, first receiver. Sexton. Oh, no. It's got a bit loose here. Has been kicked all the way back. Hugh Kinsey had to fetch from his own 5 metre. Oh, my living. That's a dreadful kick from Hugo Keenan. Ireland looking a little bit frazzled every now and again here. Bit of break and play here. Gaines getting some treatment here. So it'll be an England line out. Inside the 22, a dreadful kick from Hugo Keenan. I don't know what happened there. As Albie said, almost kicked it backwards. Meanwhile, by the way, cricket's going quite well. Oh no, who's out? Dazorzi. 27, 26, not bad. Go Boomer, nearing another 100. Come on, the lad. Lewis Layden comes up, takes a while for him to get down. England going for the only more here. Bang, goes to a Loggy. Now Sinclair. Ireland defence under pressure here. Is Genge, bumps off James Lowe. Still going as in as Genge. Loves carrying as the user prop. Now on the angle there's Freddie Stewart. But he's driven back. I think it's Johnny Sexton, actually. And Peter O'Mahony. Oh, the old guard getting involved there. Carl Sinclair now. From Portlead popping up to Henry Slade. Good Irish defence so far. England's going to their 7th phase now. Anthony Watson stacking behind the line there from James Lowe. Good counter coming in as well. Anthony Watson popping up to Pretty Stewart. Pretty Stewart's got an option over there. Fires it up to Lewis Layden. Oh, what an offload, but it's a great tackle. James Lowe, all his hair. Oh, he loves the celebration, doesn't he, old James Lowe? Watchalong is bundled out. Great defense. Great offload that was by Lewis Layden. Yeah, good Irish defense. That's awesome. I mean, I think it's the biggest thing, isn't it? You know, yes, we all know. Same as France. we love them for the expansive game plan. You know, they throw the ball around. They're very fun to watch. But it's the defense in moments like that that make them one of the best teams in the world. Yeah, penalties continue to take out the air here. Gitgap saying, "Cop on you, always in green." Tyke Furlong with a bit of blood all over his shirt there. Big moment there for Ireland, though, to withstand that. Send James Lowe off. No, they didn't send him off. I want to get behind that. I don't like James Lowe. I really don't. I really enjoyed watching him. I think he's a great rugby player. I think that whole interview last year where he's like, we beat the best team in the world in New Zealand. And it was like, well, first of all, they're not the best team in the world. They're not even playing like the best team in the world at the time. And then to sit there saying, oh, they play rugby how it's supposed to, not like Springboks. And we're just like, why? What do we do to you? Like why are you going to bring us up? So, yeah, I don't like him. Not a fan. Not a fan. It's fine. He's going to get stepped silly by Kirky and the Buggers. Good line up there again. And slow ball here for Gibson Park. Gibson Park going to the boot. Lifts it high in the air. James Lowe is chasing hard. Anthony Watson goes up. Anthony Watson comes down. Anthony Watson finds a bit of space. Goes a bit lateral. Brought down by Tyke Furlong. And now that's Farrell, I think it is. Deep kick in there for Gibson Park. He's got Keenan next to him. Gibson Park. Lifts it high in the air for Keenan to go and chase. It'll be very contestable. Ball comes loose. Falls back to, I think it's Dave Ribbons that's brought it, and it's just popped it back to Owen Farrell, who's now trying to turn Mac Hansen, who's retreating. Bounces favorably for him. Oh dear, he's going to run it himself as Mac Hansen. However, he's found a lot of space as Mac Hansen. He's eventually brought down. No, he's still going, in fact. He's eventually brought down by, I think it's Alex Dornbrandt. Josh van der Vlier now. Keepers this game is like, it's high octane stuff here. It's pretty insane. I'm enjoying this. Bit of space there for Robbie Henshaw. Bit of space for Robbie Henshaw. Eventually brought down by Henry Arundel. Getting into England's half. Sexton goes nice and flat to Dan Sheehan. Gibson Park now to Sexton. Sexton low on the wraparound. Peter Marnie now straightening. Now, not too much on, so James Lowe just puts it in behind and it bounces just ahead of Freddie Stewart, right up against the touchline. And we're going to go back for an Irish penalty. Who wins Six Nations if England wins? Well, it depends. It depends. Because if Ireland get a losing bonus, so Ireland need to get a losing bonus point, and then can't lose by more than 7. So, I mean, they have to be within 7 to get the losing bonus point. But there's 4 tries, for example, and lose by like 5, then they will still win. If they get 2 bonus points, then they win. So right now, as it stands, France are on 20 points, Ireland on 19 points. So they can still lose it. But it's a base, but right, so right as it stands, they'll win. As it stands, they win on points difference. Right, I'm up at the 22 here. Laura saying, good luck, boys in green. Positive energy and greetings from Portugal. Well, welcome, Laura. And welcome to new people. I think a couple of new people. I see a couple of new names on the stream. So if you are new, please make sure you subscribe. As you can see, the subscribers are building quite nicely today. And where's my subscriber thing gone? There it is. So please do continue subscribing. We're past that 23,700 mark. Trying to get to 24,000. Be a nice number. Gibson Park pops it up to Mac Hansen. Oh my goodness, Mac Hansen's been put on his backside there. Alex Dombrand showing his physicality. Now Tyke Furlong, a little shuffle inside, as one does at the tight head. Now Josh van der Fleer up against Carl Sinclair. This is good energy here from Ireland. Good presentation of the ball as well. Gibson Park goes to Ryan Beard. No fancy stepping this time from the lock. A bit more orthodox. Sexton popping up to Hansen. Deft touches. Callum Doris finds himself on the wing. Cuts inside. And has that been turned over? No, I think it almost was turned over. It's falling back the way of Ireland. They've got a knock-on advantage here. James Ryan takes the more direct route. Now Sexton goes to Henshaw. Henshaw goes to Hugo Keenan. Hugo Keenan wants to step back inside, run towards some support in the form of Tyke Furlong. Gibson Park now goes to Callum Doris. He pops it out. It's been knocked on by Ryan Beard. It'll be a scrum after all that. Well, I'll tell you what. For all of this England side under a lot of pressure, and Ireland are persistent in trying to get this try. They're not really... it's not really clicking so far. That's a big tackle though. Mac Hansen just running into Alex Dombrand. He's just... Oh, so it's Willits rather. He's absolutely hammered him. And then just not a great pass going to Ryan Beard there. So yeah, keep those subscribers. Let's keep the subscribers ticking here, people. I want new people. I love the old guard, by the way. All the OGs go in the chat, but gotta get some new fresh faces in here, you know? Can't just be like Johnny Sexton's, you know, for the next decade. We just don't have anybody new. We've got to get some new faces going here. So if you are new, you know what to do. Just hit that subscribe button. Come and chat. Come and join the chat. Come get some banter going. We are on a water break here. We will resume with an England scrum after 27 minutes, and this first half is flying by. And it's flying by because there's some good rugby being played. Back drawing again. I was out last night and got a bit of a headache from it. Which is why we're on the water. We're on the H2O. We're trying to, you know, trying to recover here. I think this is our first scrum, by the way. 27 minutes. We finally have our first scrum. That's bizarre. So an interesting moment in the game here. And we have a reset at the first scrum. Where we at? Shark Red said team can only be embarrassed so many times before they're forced to bounce back. Well, they have to respond, don't they? And this has been a good response. What time is it where you are? It is 7:30. Which means I could sneak in a cheeky draw later. What do you reckon? Do we do like a little late draw? Do we go out? Draw for the people that are overseas, a party or you know, an evening soiree as such with a lot of booze. Big scrum that from Ireland. Goodness me, that's a huge scrum that from Ireland. Turnover ball. Penalty for England. Ow! Illegal apparently walking around. Well, you know what? I think it's an Irish prop. I think you'll actually take that. I don't think you'll mind to that because they've just been absolutely decimated. And if I'm Sinclair and I'm Eds Games, I'm going, shit, boys, we're in trouble. Greetings from Welshman and Kampala, says Spencer. Why are England 3 points ahead? Because Ireland basically decided that they just don't feel like scoring. You know, the England defence has been pretty impressive, but Ireland have also turned down quite a few potential points. So let's have a look at this, shall we? Andrew Porter, yeah, slightly angled in, and then they do completely walk around, to be fair. I take it all back, Yako. I take it all back, but again, you know, wry smiles from the Irish lads. I think they know they've got the upper hand there. Dylan says, if England defeat Ireland, England will say they're back and they're the best. England front row soft. Yeah, that's a terrible moment there from Jack and Portley. Does very well to made the first tackle, but Jansen Gibson Park right up against the touchline there. They do have the ball, but they're back inside their own half. Amari Toje. Good half an hour so far for England. They deserve lead, actually. They played quite well in the opening half an hour. Much better than, last week they'd already been blown away by France. So, big counter-attack coming this time from Ireland. And England have to throw some more bodies in there, but they do manage to retain possession. Now, if Porty goes to the boot, I would really like to have seen Alex Mitchell start. I thought he was really good last week. James Lowe, good take from him. And Jack Willis is there to bring him down. Now gives the park back to Johnny Sexton. Not too much on, so he puts it to the boot. Hugo Keenan is in pursuit. What a take from Hugo Keenan. Goodness me, this is why I rate this kid so well. Jameson Gibson Park, well, not to log shut up with the line, and Robbie Henschel goes back, trying a bit of a space, runs into Carl Sinclair. So Ireland with possession, just short of the 10-meter line of England. He thought about the inside ball that Sexton and went himself. Oh, a bit of space to James Lowe being brought down by Anthony Watson. Jack Willis over it, but missed the jackal. Penalty advantage as well for Ireland. Jan Sheehan at scrum off. Andrew Porter, a bit of show and go, but brought down by Lewis Laidlam, and all the head that comes with it. Johnny Sexton sees a bit of space, and he's brought down a couple of meters beyond the rack. Now James Lowe, Anthony Watson, well read there from Freddie Stewart, and he puts the kick in behind. We'll go back for the penalty, and I'm getting tired just watching this. Like, I don't know how these guys do it, to be honest. I would be absolutely shattered. I think I'd be having a heart attack. Be busy wheeling me out in the stretcher here. Yep, going to go to the corner here. Once again, I mean, they would be well ahead here. They could be 3 points ahead if they decide to take the points, but they're just saying, nah, stuff it. We're just going to go. We're going for tries here. It's St. Paddy's Day. We're not here to stuff around. We're here to score good tries. We're here to give the crowd something to enjoy. Jamie George down receiving some treatment. We're going to end the poll there, by the way, and 80% of people saying that Ireland are going to win. Well, right now, Ireland's trailing England. But they won't panic. They've got good sense of heads around that dressing room. David George taking a while. He doesn't look happy, by the way. He's going to limp his way back to... Back inside, Dan Sheehan. I'm cheap, but I try to look down for a moment to check, and Dan Sheehan's gone over. I apologize, people. Sorry, I thought we had something wrong with the stream, and I was trying to check what was wrong. So there is something wrong. Maybe nobody can hear me, but Ireland over. Fortune favors the brave, apparently, and Andy Farrell looked a bit of a chuckle. Yeah, life's good when you're winning, eh? Life's good when you're winning. So I'm trying to make sure this all is all good. Right, what happens here? So Josh Benapier breaks off. Oh, inside ball to Dan Sheehan and Carl Sinclair. Well, I tell you, might as well have been a pointsman and just told him where the try line was, because he wasn't getting anywhere near him. I Don Brown going quickly. Carl Sinclair's not going to get there. Far, far, far too easy for Ireland. Look what it means to them. The celebrations. The Viva and rocking, boys and ladies. I think there are a couple of girls. If there are any ladies in the chat, please let us know. I feel like I've got a very, very male audience, which I understand we're always going to. But actually, statistically, apparently there is a reasonably large female contingent. We just never see them in the chat. Right, Johnny Sexton now looking to extend his lead at the top of the Six Nations points scoring board. Da, 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 da. Good restart that. So Ireland ahead, 10 points to 6. Well, we didn't really see that coming, did it? It came out a bit of nowhere. And Freddie Stewart losing the ball forward there. Not forward, Jaco. You sure it wasn't forward? Yeah, it was forward as the decision there. Right, I'll go back to some of the comments here. Manchester Island sneaking a defeat out of the jaws of a win. Right, well, 10 points to 6 here. 5 minutes to go in the first half. A bit of break and play here. Right, so as it stands, Ireland will be on 26 points. This plus 70. Bit confused to how that's worked out, by the way. How are they on 26 points as it stands? Should be on 25 points, surely. How did they even get themselves 26 points? Huh? I'm confused. I'm very confused. I mean, it's 4 points for a win, 1 bonus point for scoring 4 tries, so your maximum points you get 5. So how are they on 19 points before the game and as it stands on 26 points? Might need to relook at that graphic here, chaps. Right, Johnny Sexton's going high from the free kick there. Freddie Stewart, good, well taken, brought down by Josh van der Fleer. Dylan's Nation is the one that created rugby. He still gets him for all others. Hey, listen, it's good in fairness when you're going to be this one, isn't it? Right, Sexton inside to Keenan. Keenan inside to go himself. There's a lot of English traffic. Doesn't get him between 2 players. Buys a bit of time for his teammates to come and support him. Well, Gibson Park's been caught on the ball. Knock on advantage here for England. Carl Sinclair goes to Owen Farrell. He goes to Olagi. Olagi straightens and running into Caden Doris and Robbie Henshaw. No, Esticott doesn't have to release there, so we'll go back for the knock-on. Yeah, just a bit caught on there was Gibson Park. Right, 3 minutes to go. Get us there. They may have created it, but the head office is in Dublin. Big scrum coming. He wants to get mine, but it is available. Back and Portly decides to go to the left-hand side. Running the hands. Yes, Stewart goes to Henry Rundle. Who's lining up Mac Hansen. Doesn't bring him down. That's Gibson Park has to come across to make the tackle. Now they are looking to hold him. Oh, they are going to hold him up. That's done very well. Ball called as well. They don't have to release. That's brilliant defending from Ireland. And there we go. Great. So I think Ireland's domination has to do with a lovely 13% tax. Will W pays having it there. I suppose it's got to be somewhere. That time of year again. Big celebration, as you can see. I think at the moment for Ireland, just need to get to half time with the lead and just reset a little bit. They've I wouldn't say shell shock, but England started really well, and Ireland had to absorb a lot of pressure before scoring that try. So take a lot of confidence out of that try, but they just need to get back to doing what they do so well. 1.5 minutes left in the half. Solid scrum. Good ball for Jansen Gibson Park. They go to Bundyaki, who hands off Jack from Porty, who comes in for a second go. Good carry there from Tuolagi. Now Kalen Doris. Nice leg drive. Being helped up by a couple of teammates. The ball comes loose and brilliantly dived on by Ty Furlong. That looked a bit like a high tackle. And now back inside there. Johnny Sexton characteristically complaining as he does so well. Does do it well, to be fair. If you're going to complain well. You know, he often gets he does get a lot of the sway because of it, to be fair to him. Right, so last few seconds of the half. Can they carve up another opportunity, or are they going to go at half time with 10 points to 6? They'll definitely have a go here. Good line up there. Gibson Park goes to Sexton. Sexton flat to Bundyaki. But if you just go back to the normal camera angle, people think. I mean, I know you guys pay a lot of money for the spider cam. We actually don't like it. Sheehan, the wraparound. Oh, the handling. Oh, it's just gone forward from Mac Hansen. That would have been absolutely brilliant. Turnover ball now for England. I'm just kicking this out. There's a long way to go. Penalty stop. We're going to stop because Hugh Keenan stayed down, and it's a head clash. Jakob doing the responsible thing, calling time on play. That'll be the half, by the way. Some great hands. Little wraparound from Gibson Park was tremendous. And then Mac Hansen not being able to get his hands free and get that ball away. If he had, look at this. Brilliant. Bang. And then one more would have been a 2-on-1. It would have been 2-on-1. Oh, jeepers. He's just rocketed off Freddie Stewart. Oh, jeepers. So Freddie Stewart's basically just kind of like dropped his arm down. He's run to his elbow. That looks sore. That's not fun. That's not fun. He's off here, by the way. He's off. That's absolutely dreadful. I mean, he just pulls out the tackle here and he just drops his thing as an elbow to the head. What the hell was he thinking? He just pulls out the tackle and just runs straight into him. Yeah, no, listen, he's gone. I might actually just put the red card up already. I don't know what he was thinking here, pretty sure. And he's just dropped his arm. Trying to listen to what Jakob Paper's got to say here. Yeah, this is going to be bad. Yeah. No. I agree with the facts. Thanks, Marius. Appreciate your way, boy. Yeah, listen, they're down to 14. Unlucky, boys. That's going to be a long half for you now. Yeah, what do you mean red card? Like, mate, you know it's a red card. That was absolutely dreadful. And guess what, boys? New studio? Yeah, new cards. There it is. How cool is that? How cool is my little red card? Yeah. Also, I even got new. I can do this as well. Ooh, look at that, eh? You know, all the stats and stuff there. But, yeah, sorry, I'll go back to this one. My new little red card. Right, so a late penalty. And a red card. Hugo Keenan's gone off for a HIA, which means that Jimmy O'Brien's on. So now, I'll actually have a late opportunity to try and score a try just before half time. Owen Farrell's smiling, but he'll know that they are now in the big shit. You can't complain about that. You cannot complain about that. It's so stupid. He just literally pulls out, just turns his shoulder. No, man, come on. Come on. Nah, you can't complain about that, sweetie, unfortunately. Back of the line out. Oh, it's a great take. The ball's gone a bit loose there. I think it's been well taken by Ryan Beard. Now into the red zone here. Wants to use it, just Gibson Parker screaming at Dan Sheehan to use it, but I don't think he can get the ball out. Yeah, that ball, now he's eventually managed to get the ball out. He's desperately trying to get it out. Oh, big, well defended from England, must be said. The ball going to be able to come out, though. Ball is available. Well defended, to be fair. Tyke Furlong hit hard. James Lowe's calling down the blind side. He's been very interested in hitting down the blind side for a while. Gibson Park going to Josh van der Fleer. Good tackle, taking out his legs there from Ribbons. Now they do go down the blind side. Sexton goes to Dan Sheehan. Good leg drive from him. Now James Lowe making a meter or two. Gibson Park to Peter O'Mahony, the war hero, war machine. And turning in the tackle there was Caelan Doris. A couple of meters gained here. Ireland parked on the English doorstep, trying to find a try for half time. Tyke Furlong, Moni Taulagi making a good tackle here. Commentator calling to go wide. I mean, it must be on. Yeah, there's so much space up there. They've got to go wide, go wide, go wide. Oh, they've knocked it on. Oh, my living. How have they butchered that? That is proper butchering from Ireland. How have they not... Right, well, half-time, and that's going to be an interesting second half. Half-time, and the score is 10 points to 6. England, however, have just been reduced to 40 men for the rest of the game. A red card to Freddie Stewart. And, yeah, you can't complain about it either. It was a clear red card. You can have no complaints about that. It doesn't get much easier to give a red card. So, yeah, we'll be back a little bit after the break for the second half. Please don't go away. Please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe. There are 228 people watching, and yet only 27 likes. So, if, you can get that up to, being at, the 50 mark, that would be, really appreciated. And I'll see you guys after half time. Right, and we're back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. Ireland versus England. England down to 14 men, which is interesting because it's causing a lot of debate on Twitter. Now, personally, it's controversial. I can agree with the decision, to be honest. I get the whole he's trying to avoid contact stuff, I get, but at the end of the day, he's had time to turn. He's dropped a shot. And he's run into contact like that. Like, I get it. Like, it's a reaction thing, you know. And at the end of the day, people can sit there saying, well, "What's he supposed to do?" But as what Jakob Paper was arguing, is like, well, you had time, yet you managed to turn and sort of twist yourself, put yourself in the position, which is a dangerous position. He's now head on contact, and Hugo Keane is now basically out. So yeah, I don't think it's actually the worst call. I think a lot of people are debating about it. I can kind of understand it. But yeah, I mean, it didn't look good, did it? At the end of the day. So yeah, so it is what it is. We can debate for the entire match, or we can watch a 40-man England go and try and do something here, which I don't think they're going to. But should hopefully be a quite entertaining second half. Ireland are 40 minutes away from a grand slam. And Johnny Sexton, 40 minutes away for his last 40 minutes at the Aviva Stadium in an Ireland shirt. What a moment it will be for him if he does lift the grand slam. Donny says, England to win with 14 players. Watch it, they'll be motivated. No, I'm not an English fan. All red cards should not punish the team, only the culprit. It's a team game at the end of the day. So I've always been an advocate of I've always had no issue with the red card. I think it's the whole point, you know. I think if you make a mistake, your team, you miss a tackle, your team gets punished. If you make a mistake, you get a red card, your team suffers without you. I hate the 20-minute red card rule. Anyway, we are back underway. Ireland playing left to right. Early touch here for Mother Itoje. Where's the scrum cap? Right, so Jack from Port lead. Right, so yeah, very short in the bin. And the replacement here. So Jimmy O'Brien gets his first touch of the ball. He's on for you. Oh, good cross kick here from Sexton to James Lowe. And it's pretty perfect as well. James Lowe, inside ball, doesn't quite make it to Robbie Henshaw. Now Lewis Laidlam on the counter-attack is brought down by Bandiaki as well as Josh van der Fleer. Carl Sinclair now carrying it up. But what a half we've got ahead of us, by the way. Good half rugby. The last half of the Six Nations for the year. Got to really enjoy this. The last bit of international rugby until the mid-year game. So we've got to get into this. Got to really enjoy it. Got to savor this. Too much? Maybe too much. But anyway. Jack from Portley taking his time here at the back of the rack here. And to find himself a good clearance. Listed high in the air. And it'll be well taken by Henry Slade, actually. The ball then spawns back to Bandiaki. So it is Ireland with possession. Damage Gibson Park has got a couple of winning runners. No more so than it looks like Kevin Doris. Now Sexton goes down the right-hand side. And Anthony Watson underneath it. They'll be quite well spread here with England, given the fact they are down to 14 men and missing a full back. And James Lowe catches that ball coming over his left shoulder. Good catch. Right up against the touchline. Won't find touch. And Anthony Watson's happy to let that bounce. Anthony Watson's probably sort of filling in at full back really now. And now Owen Farrell will be looking for touch here. Will not find it. No, not looking for touch. Sexton wants to go himself. Steps away from Owen Farrell. And he's brought down. And not too much out support, but good work being done by Bandiaki. So they do retain possession. Now, as Gibson Park goes to Doris. A little bit of show and go. Big tackle on him from the two props. It is Genja and Carl Sinclair. Gibson Park here now waiting. Slow ball here for him. You just smash like on the video, by the way, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And ball going out wide to Watchalong. Long pass out to Henry Randall. Got a bit of space ahead of Matt Hansen coming across. Matt Hansen completing the tackle. Does well to stay inside. Jack from Portley. Quick ball goes to Jamie George. Pops it up to Willis. He's gone through a lot of work actually. I'm quite impressed with what I've seen from Willis so far. And Owen Farrell lifts that up towards Lewis Laidlam, who finds himself on the wing. And James Lowe goes up and offloads to Bandiaki. Goes to Jamison Gibson Park. Gibson Park wants to get around. He is around Guinness Genge. Chip and chase here from Gibson Park. Anthony Watson should have the pace, but Gibson Park will be able to. In fact, the ball's going to run out. That's really good work from the Irish scrum half. He's never going to have the pace on Anthony Watson, but yeah, just chipping over the top, and it's worked out very nicely. Bang, and Gibson Park looks up, he sees Ellis Genge, backs himself over here. Yeah, it's a nice little kick in behind, pinning England back. Lewis Latham is down receiving treatment. That's not what you want to see as an England fan, given the fact that you're already down to 14 men. You don't want to lose the bench too early now. Big line up there. And England do retain possession. And Van Portley now needs a good clearance. And he won't find touch. James Lowe goes inside to Jim O'Brien. Release. His knees have been on the ground there. Now Gibson Park going to Doris. Another great pass back. James Lowe drifting a bit sideways. Just tries to straighten. Gains a yard or two. Now get Sexton. I think his kicks actually come off the player there. So it'll be an Irish line-out. It's worked out quite well. Bit of a break and play. I'll resume with an Ireland line-out just outside, or just about halfway between the 10-meter. Was it? It is by the 10-meter actually. Just trying to work out where we are. Yeah, by the 10-meter line. Let's do a poll. Can England come back to win? Oh, win with 14. That's what I'm going to poll. Can England win with 14 players? A yes or no question. Chaps, just go and answer that. Let me know. Johnny Sexton lifting it high in the air. It's probably gone too far, actually. It's gone way too far. And Anthony Watson will be able to mark that. Right, so we've got a poll running in the comments, so go and vote on it. Let me know what you think. Can England do it? Can they do the impossible? I mean, it's hard enough to be the number one team in the world when you've got a full team, let alone down to 14 players. So, yes, big moments coming up for them. Right, Sexton from the restart there. Gibson Park goes to Robbie Henshaw. Henshaw just goes quite direct. Turnover though, I think. No, Josh Flair comes away with it. Driven back by Willis. Now it's available from Gibson Park. He goes to Doris. Now Sexton and waiting. Peter O'Mahony. And they're trying to rip in the tackle. It has been ripped in the tackle. Carl Sicklett's come away with it. And Gibson Park trying to go over it. So turnover ball here for England. He's not bound. He can play that, chaps. It is Gensch throwing it to Anthony Watson. Not much on Anthony Watson. Trying to step away. Gets away, but Andrew Porter managed to grab a boot. But he still gets away from him. He's still going at Anthony Watson. Does anyone want to tackle him? So eventually brought down by the halfway line. Van Portley now going to Owen Farrell. Not too much on to Owen Farrell. Just hammers it to the left. Hugo Keenan. Jimmy O'Brien. His left boot. Hugo Keenan obviously off in the first half. That was the collision that led to the red card. If you're trying to watch the action, by the way, please check out the description. We've got a whole guide on how you can watch it for free using ITV and ExpressVPN. So, yeah, if you are looking for a stream, then just go and check out the description. We've got a whole guide on you for how to watch the game. No real excuse not to be watching all the action. That's a poor line up there. Oh, but they've announced it straight back to Kyle Sinclair. And it's really well read, though. And Ireland have won the ball back. Good appreciation of the laws there from Ryan Beard. Now Van der Fleer going to Doris. He's a bit isolated, but Van der Fleer and Bandiaki get their time. Gibson Park. Inside ball back to Gibson Park from Johnny Sexton. These two are so well connected in terms of just the way they play. And they've got such good intuition with each other when they play. But turnover ball again. Mac Hansen now retreating. He's got Jimmy O'Brien, but he's going to kick it himself. Doesn't find touch. Goes down the throat of Owen Farrell. Who returns the favour, lifted high in the air for Anthony Watson to chase. Jimmy O'Brien lets it bounce and forward from Ireland, so it will be an England scrum. Right, so nobody backing in to make the comeback, by the way, judging on our poll. Steve Borthwick looking a little bit nervous at the top there. Watching his side, it was 14 men on it there. And just for slowing the game down. Yeah, we're 8 minutes into the second half. It's been a bit more stop-starts in the first half. And a little bit slow, I suppose. A couple more kicks coming in, a bit more tactical, as you kind of imagine. A bit of an arm wrestle going on now. Scrum here for England. An opportunity for them to try and create something with the back of a set piece. We have a reset here. A lot of movement there from Mayaka paper, so not happy with that scrum. The reset here. Tell you what, though, the Aviva sounds like it's absolutely rocking over there. Penalty now for England, and you can see by the celebration from Jack from Portley just how important that penalty is. As they're desperately trying to hold on here, England. This will give an opportunity to bring it down to a 1-point game. And as I said, it's going to be an arm wrestle. It's going to be an arm wrestle. They're just going to have to try and stay in there for as long as they can. Give them a chance, because if Ireland score again, then I think it becomes a step too far here. Right, so Owen Farrell will have an attempt to shot a goal here. Da, 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 da. It's that time of year again. To tell you something. But Owen Farrell will split the polls and bring it to a 1-point game here, ladies and gentlemen. And this is getting quite interesting all of a sudden. This is getting interesting, isn't it? Isn't it, boys? Here's saying this one, English land will prove something. They will win. Big shot, big shot. Right, so I'm going to end the poll, by the way, because people are now changing their votes and going, I reckon they could actually do it. Decent clearance there as well. So yeah, and this is going to be a very, very interesting to see the decisions now that Borthwick takes from a replacements and a bench point of view, because this is now an arm wrestle. This is now very much, a tactical battle. You've got to see this game out now almost. You've always got to basically pretend you're in the lead, take it as deep as possible, and sort of see where you can get there, and then try to sneak and win it. It was the end. So, do you then, hold back somebody like a Marcus Smith? I think you've got to leave Owen Farrell on. I think he's the type of player you have to have in the situation. So, yeah, I think the bench is going to be an interesting decision in terms of who. Right, lineup chair for Dan Sheehan. Goes to the back to the top. No, Peter Minor, he's taken all out the ball, I would argue. Look, big celebrations coming from England. And just as he's gathering that, I would tell you, I would argue that he hadn't had the ball, he's been tackled there. But that's just me. Give me 2 seconds, people. Right, Ben carries on the park. Not the Gibson Park, the park. Meanwhile, the Proteas are throwing away the game against the West Indies. I mean, people, just why? Why can't we have nice things? Really? Bit of a kicking battle here now. Right, Gibson Park, bench after the couple of kicking battle, they're popping it up here. Right, so let's get settled in here. I need to refocus here. Yeah, I just want to make sure that everything's working. Yeah, it all seems to be working. I'm not actually happy with how my studio's looking. Anyway, Gibson Park at the base of the rack. Lifts it high in the air. Anthony Watson underneath it. And yeah, England, I'll tell you what, I think England got a bit of momentum here. And Ireland at the moment really not working them hard enough. And you've got the one-man advantage. Work them. Give them hell here, people. Oh, cheaper. That's a big hit there coming from Dave Ribbons. Now that's going to go too far, isn't it? Yeah, and Gibson Park will just mark this. Take it quickly though to Gibson Park, and he wants to go on a bit of a run here. Then brings in James Lowe, who hammers it down that left boot, pops it up to Anthony Watson, who throws it in field to Owen Farrell. Owen Farrell will take a while and puts it in a big up and under. It's gone too far though, so it won't be contestable. Owen Farrell underneath it, gives it away to Mac Hansen, who slips actually. Mac Hansen had a lot of pressure there from Jack from Portley as well. Really good work there from the England scrum off, and the England forwards are coming through. Gibson Park under a bit of pressure here. Gives away to Josh van der Fleer. Oh, that's a dreadful kick. That is a dreadful kick. And hands up from Johnny Sexton. Yeah, not good. Not good at all. Tell you what, if an England fan, there's almost a little bit of hope out there. It's a 1-point game, and Ireland at the moment just struggling a little bit, and I think probably just need a sort of reset here. And we're gonna have a bit of break and play. Jamie George waiting for the core here, stuff like that. Meanwhile, we've got time off here. Contact lens and calling for a substitution. There's Jack Paper. Not sure he's been subbed. Well, you know, we talked about how England needed a response. This has been one hell of a response. I think that's a good substitution, actually. Jack Cronin being brought on. I think he'll be a nice, calm head, good carry. Peter O'Mahony making way for him. Interesting call. You know, you've just lost your best line-out jumper. But I think Jack Cronin, very solid ball carrier, does the basics very well. Maybe that's kind of what they need. A bit of a level head that just, you know, is just going to run and work hard. Right, after the contact lens. Oh, Gifton Parker's just emerged from that line-out. Don't know how that happened. And then kicks it and falls back to James Lowe. Ah, he's lost the ball and it's going to run out. Well, main thing is they're back in England's half. I don't know how that happened. All of a sudden, now a bit of hands in there. James Lowe's getting involved. I mean, Andrew Porter, of course, is getting involved there. Ben Curry's getting involved. James Lowe's having a good time. A couple of smiles around there. James Lowe does have a hit me face, doesn't he? Like, I wouldn't, because he'd probably beat me. I reckon I could hold my own for a couple of minutes, but probably beats me. But he does have a bit of a hit me face. Yeah, ball just comes loose there, and James Gibson Park just emerges with it. What a kick, by the way. Falling straight back to James Lowe and just trying to get their offload away, knocking it on. So I think they should have the option, actually, here. And a bit of afters. Not much in it. Not much in it. Right, so there'll be a scrum in England territory. It is England's put in though, so about Jacqueline Portley with board in hand. Penalty for England. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're celebrating and so they should. I mean, as I said, they've swung the momentum here. And for a team with 14 players, you've actually got to kind of take your hat off and say, well, fair enough, actually, because they've responded. They've actually been galvanized a little bit by that red card. There's a very unimpressed, it's pretty shrewd watching on. Bit of a messy line. Alex Dombrandt almost going to find a bit of space down the side. From Portley now goes to Edith Genge. Ryan Beard, that's a brilliant turnover. Penalty advantage as well. That is fantastic from the lock. I've actually been very impressed with them today. Yeah, it does win the penalty. That's really good work from Ryan Beard. Man, maybe that's a good moment. That could be a bit of a moment for Ireland. They're under the cosh here. I need a good kick to try and get themselves on the front foot here. And yeah, there we go. I think Ireland now will hopefully that they need a bit of a moment, don't they? They need something to get them going again. I feel like they've just lost a lot of momentum here. I would say just because that red card have changed sides and now rooting for England, Martin argument makes a massive difference to the England backline. 100%. When he's playing well, it's a game changer, isn't it? Well, there goes Ty Furlong and Tom O'Toole. I mean, shame. Imagine your surname's O'Toole. Like, poor lad. Like if you're a bit of a dick, then it's fine because then you literally are the O'Toole. Oh, Joe Marchant's on, by the way, as well. Arundel leaves the park. Didn't have much opportunity, to be fair to the poor lad. Right, Dan Sheehan goes to Beard, who won the penalty. Looking for the rolling more here. Ireland needs to try and keep ball in hand. They haven't had a lot of possession in the last sort of 15 minutes. It's all been very one-way traffic, and it's been the white team of England that have dominated so far. Now going a bit forward here. Gibson Park wants to use it, though. Goes to Farrell. Farrell to Hexton. Cross kick coming back. It's going to bounce as well. So it's Quebec. Oh, it's going to bounce. Almost bounce. And they're going to drive Watson over that. Is it held up? I think it is. It is held up. That's really, really good work. It'll be a 5-meter scrum. And great kick there from Sexton. Just hammering it down that right-hand side. Does the bounce. And that's the thing with the rugby ball, isn't it? The bounce of the rugby ball keeps this game interesting. Keeps a lot of players very honest. Good chasing there from Mac Hansen. Applying the pressure. 5-meter scrum. This is perfect. We're on the raw right-hand side. Big scrum needed. And now they've got the full width of the field to work with, as well as 14 men. Oh, just Sexton. I mean, that's... Oy, yay, 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 yay. Yeah, there's a bit of an awkward moment there where I think it was Laidlaw was trying to charge down and cracks into his leg. Didn't look too nice. Does seem to be okay, but you can see, as I said, he says pick it up a little bit here. He understands they're under pressure a bit. But one big scrum, one good move, and this is where they are so dangerous, and they can very much just hit back, and I think that would almost deflate England. You know, I think that England have done so well to stay in the game and actually lift themselves. One try, talk about knocking the wind out of the sails, that would probably do it. I also need food in my life. I haven't had dinner. I haven't eaten anything since 11 this morning. I'm starving. What should I eat, people? I need recommendations for food. Should we start a channel? I think we should start a cooking channel. We can call it Forever Food. It's like the story of my life. Well, the scrum's gone down. Use it. Bandiaki's going to go the direct route here. Now Jack Conan, penalty advantage here for Ireland as well. Gets the park, wants to go down the other side. Goes to Bandiaki, goes to Henshaw over. That should be it. There's still 20 minutes left, but that's the moment that they've been waiting for. That's the moment they've needed. They've been under pressure. England will be heartbroken, but they were always going to struggle to defend that set piece. They are a man down. Or again, just a bit of intensity, a bit of tempo there from Ireland, and bang. Robbie Henshaw. I love watching Robbie Henshaw play rugby. I think he's such a classy player. His 10th try in 63 matches for Ireland. Bandiaki playing a big part there as well. Fish and chips, pork. Wow, pork. I mean, what do I look like here? Millionaire. Fish and chips is an interesting shout, to be fair. Gotta find a place that's still open. No, I'll not be doing curry. My stomach's already hating me after all the brandy I drank last night. I don't think it'll appreciate a curry. Yeah, it's well worked. And I mean, he goes over very easily. There's Robbie Henshaw. Right, 15 points to 9. Important kick this, because at the moment it's still within a converted try, so an important kick here. Kid saying, I miss Springbok rugby. Yeah, you and me both, chap. But what's it, 6th of July, hey? So we're only like, what's it, April, May, June, 4 months away still. Yuck. Yuck. Right, here we go. Important kick this for Sexton. And for him, it's a chance to extend his lead as the top. Oh, cheapers, look at that. Inside out. What a kick that is. 17 points to 9. You got to think that was a pretty big moment in the game. Credit to England. They were in. They hold on. They were actually, since they're going down to 40 men, they'd actually gone up to 3-0 in theory if you start the score after about 20 minutes as well. So they've done really well to hang in there. But, this is just a numbers thing, isn't it? It's just not enough numbers there. Far too easy to go over. And I think Ireland one hand on the trophy right now. Ball comes back. If it falls to Sinclair, though, that's not a good restart. Tell you what, England hit back and they'll feel like they're right back in it. Now Van Portleed going to Slade, kicking behind, but it comes off an Irish boot. And now Sexton in a bit of trouble there. He is available though for Jack Van Portleed. Ben Curry carrying it up hard. Big counter ruck coming from Ireland, but it is available from Portleed. Goes to Sinclair. Mario Toje going himself. Jamie George popping up to Curry again. I think I called it more there, by the way. I think they managed to hold him up. So this could be turnover ball. It is turnover ball. Again, good moments here. Now all of a sudden, Ireland just absorbing the pressure and being able to deal with it. Big scrum this as well. And you can see what I mean. So I said they're 15 minutes away from a grand slam. Johnny Sexton's got the last 15 minutes left. I'm sure they're going to leave him on. I'd be very surprised if they were to change him. Rossburn, I think, can get very comfortable. Although unless you want to give him an ovation, a standing ovation as he does leave, Right, Donbrad comes back, is off, and Willis is back on. And he's performing a little bit of a breathing exercise here. I feel like I should be doing this before I go out, like psych myself up. Like, right, boys, Brandy's coming in, like, breathe in, breathe out, get yourself sorted, get yourself into the right headspace. Now we move. Right, so will they run from the 22, have a reset here, or will they just play the territory game? Well, imagine you play the territory game. I don't think there's any need in risking things and running out in 22 and stuff. Mark Smith saying, ref ruined it. Can't wait for the first block against Albert. I really don't. I mean, the whole ref ruined it. Meh. Red's a part of the game. Barking some instructions there to Jack from Portleed. I would definitely get Alex Mitchell on though if that was England. If that's I think that's a sub that they should have made a while ago. Do. Bandiaki now. Sexton looping around. There's so much space. Bandiaki trying to free his hands. Bandiaki's up to the halfway line. That's really good work from Ireland. Sexton, head short first receiver. Go to Ryan Beard. He's worked very hard. I'll tell you what, he could actually be in contention for man of the match. Penalty advantage as well. Sexton goes to Josh van der Fleer. Josh van der Fleer, inside, outside. He's taking Joe Marchand for a bit of a walk. The ball is red, but they'll go back for the penalty. And this will allow Ireland to kick it into England's half. And also, more importantly, eat up some time. Ted Jones was like, come on, enjoy Owen Farrell getting beat. Ah, shame. Poor Owen. He's actually not a bad guy, to be fair. He just doesn't know how to tackle. Well, Spar's going to be very happy tonight. He won't be. Twelve penalties conceded by England, 5 from Ireland. That's big. That's a big difference, eh? Dan Cole, 100 cap. By the way, I didn't know he was going to make his way to raise the centuries, Dan. You would have have thought that Dan Cole was going to play 100 games for England, eh? "56 Nations caps." Dan Sheehan on the back of the maul, up towards 22-yard Ireland. Tom O'Toole back on the angle. Oh, Dan Sheehan's got a bit of space there. And now they're finding gaps here, Ireland. Into the 22 they go. Gibson Park wants to go down the short side. Mac Hansen to Jack Conan. Jack Conan gives it away to Dan Sheehan. And they're over again. That should be it. That should be it. Dan Sheehan, well, he always finds himself in such good positions, doesn't he? And he's dived over. That should be the game. 20 points to 9 with 12 minutes to go. Award him the trophy. Called the game earlier. Throw on Conor Murray. Ty Furlong's just sitting there. He's thinking about what's for dinner later. Same Ty, same. Also, I feel like we could definitely get to like 23,750. Like, there's definitely 12 people that do not subscribe. We could actually probably get to 23,800 because I feel like there's definitely probably 60 people that aren't subscribed because you guys all watch, don't subscribe. So let's see how quickly we can get the subscribers up. And yeah, what an offload, by the way, from Jack Conan. An inspired substitution. That is in the tackle as he's going down. He'll pop inside to Dan Sheehan. It goes over in the corner. Just running into the gap there and the offload. Ah, brilliant from Jack Conan. That really is a good assist. Look at him inch them. Look at him inch them. There we go. A couple of new subscribers. Just keep that. I just want to watch it like continuously ticking, you know? Like, it's so cool when you see those like big channels like in the millions and it's just permanently bang, 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 bang. It's like wild. We're more like during games, like a couple of them. Then we stay for a week. But yeah, hopefully find some new people this week. This weekend, having a couple of new faces in the chat, which is cool to see. Oh, jeepers. Johnny Sexton. Stop it. I like it. Right up against the touchline. Look at the celebration. He knows. Sheehan's just gone off. Rob Herring on. What a player, by the way, Dan Sheehan. I'll tell you what, Tyke Furlong he just chills, eh? Like, he's the most zen tight head ever. To be fair, I suppose most tight heads are pretty zen. They can't afford to be stressed. Right, the restart there. Can we just stop with the flipping spider cam, guys? Can we just stop it? Like, no. No spider cam. Gibson Park back to James Lowe, the left boot of his. It says, will load shedding affect the lights in the rugby stadiums? We're basically just permanently running on generators out here. Not sure what's going on over there. Joe Marchand having a bit of a go. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Gal said will be a liquid-only dinner in Dublin tonight. Yeah, no, listen. I mean, Johnny Sexton was pushing Joe Marchand. What's coming out? That's Johnny Sexton using all of the experience to do what? Bandiaki's down. He then jumped up to go and help Sexton. Now he's back down. 14 carries, by the way. 78 meters made. 6 tackles. 4 tackle breaks. It's been a good game for Bandiaki. He's under a bit of pressure from Stuart McCloskey, and I think it's brought out the best in him. Ludiso saying they can take the Six Nations, but one thing for sure, the Box will defend the Webs Ellis Cup. I mean, I like the confidence there. Good carry there from Mario Tuolagi. And yeah, where are the England forwards? Penalty there. Nick Asekwa on the field, by the way, as well. Is Alex Mitchell on yet? Surely Alex Mitchell's on. I'm doing watching him. I think he should. I don't know why he's not starting, to be honest. Coming out the side is the core there, so Owen Farrell will knock this into touch. We enter the last 10 minutes. 10 minutes left, or less than 10 minutes left. They go to Mario Toji, the front of the line out here, England. They've been brave. I mean, it must be said. Much as people don't like them, and I wouldn't say I'm an England fan by any means, but they've been brave. You have to give a bit of credit to them because they did sort of get together and actually put in a good effort. After the red card. Speaking of effort, 6 more people subscribe, and we're at that 750 mark. So you kind of know what to do. There's definitely 6 of you that aren't subscribed. As this more is now, it's just like the entire team is in there. Who knows where the ball is? I think it's over. Yeah, it is over. They have scored. England have scored. Jamie George over. He's absolutely finished, by the way. Jeepers. That's how I look after a tequila shot, by the way. The way he just looked like that, on the verge of death. I mean, it's such a messy maul. Watchalong throws himself in there, Henry Slade's in there, and all of a sudden it sort of spirals out, and Jamie George is there to ground it. So Jamie George goes over. Owen Farrell adds the extra 24 points to 16. Maybe England have got to come back in there. I'll be very surprised. They have to score more than a converted try. Oh dear, this doesn't look good. Who is this? And it's Sexton, by the way. Sexton's broken down here. Gives the Park spin a place, by the way. Ross Burns on, Conor Murray on as well. Well, that's horrible for Johnny Sexton. He's not going to be able to complete his last game with the StevieP. He is walking off. Taking a long time here. And the Aviva Stadium rises to applaud their captain, and yeah, one of the best to play for Ireland. Yeah, as he limps off, and thunderous applause around the Aviva, which must be absolutely rocking. There are going to be a lot of drunk Irish people there tonight. So just quickly jump in a plane. Remember we had the Concorde, get myself there in a couple of hours and go join the celebration. Matt Hansen contesting the kickoff. They have one at back Ireland actually, but knock on is the call from Jakob Paper. Oh, but I think he hit the spider cam. Kieran Treadwell onto the park as well. I'll tell you what, Ross Byrne, I've been quite impressed in the Six Nations. I think a lot of people have always said he's never really stepped up at international level. But this Six Nations, for me, he's looked a test player. He's looked a lot better. He's looked far more like the Ross Byrne we see in the URC and the Champions Cup and stuff like that when he does play for Leicester as the deputy for Johnny Sexton. And I think he's been much more assured of himself maybe as well. I think you get to a stage where you start to feel a bit more comfortable and you can actually give a good account of yourself at the highest level. Crazy Bot says Irish people don't get drunk every time we win. So you're telling me that winning a Grand Slam is not a good excuse to have a couple of beers? Surely it is. I mean, I might have a couple of beers on your behalf. Lewis Laylam is now playing at the back of the scrum. Picks up and goes. Now Toje. We stopped it, yeah. I'm not sure what's going on yet. Foul play. What's going on here? What's going on here? I think a call's coming up from the side. So Willis there. Oh, what's he done there? What's he done there? He's just come here. He's lifted Ross Byrne up and dumped him on the floor. That is so stupid. I mean, why? Jack Willis has come here. He's lifted Ross Byrne up and dumped him on his neck, on his shoulder. Actually, thankfully, it's on his shoulder. But I mean, that is so stupid. I mean, it's just like, I mean, this guy just wants to get to the pub. He literally decides, no, stuff it. I'm going to take an early leave here. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen on a rugby field. Yellow card for Jack Willis. And I can do that, by the way. Wait, there we go. Hey. So England with the yellow card and a red card, down to 13 men for the final 5 minutes. Ross Byrne is okay. He will continue. Yeah, Dan Sheehan named the player of the match. What a match, what a player, what a game. What an involvement, and what a grand slam at this rate. All the water's being thrown on him. Everybody congratulating him on his man of the match performance. You can see the festivities have already kicked off on the bench. But for those in the field, still work to do. Rob Herring feeding that line out. He's going to back himself. He'd fancy himself a try. Conor Murray wants to... He goes himself to his Herring. And he reaches over and he goes down. There it is. There it is. Down to 13 men, and unfortunately, this is going to get very easy for Ireland. Rob Herring goes over, 29 points to 16. Final nail in the coffin. They all celebrate on the bench, and I know what that means. Bang. Great finish. You can see Conor Murray was calling it, and Rob Herring picks it up and goes himself. He had the options there and reaches out and dots over. Conor Murray, I think, fancied himself there as well. And he Farrell knows it as well. Don't see nothing wrong. What do you mean you don't see nothing wrong? You can't just go and lift the player and dump him. Right, Ross Byrne. 2.5 minutes left on the clock here. Closing in on that 2,750 mark. So, I mean, 4 people could subscribe. We appreciate that. There's definitely 4 of you guys out there. I mean, there's probably 54 of you guys out there, so you can probably get past the 800. Is it coming in? No, it's going to go to the side there. It's from Ross Byrne. But 29 points to 16. England down to 13 players. 2 minutes left on the clock, and Ireland will be Grand Slam victors. What a side. And, yeah, remain number 1 in the world. They'll take a Grand Slam. Sexton's time at the Aviva Stadium in an Irish jersey will come to an end. And they go back to James Lowe, who pumps it downfield. Yeah, no issue here. Nice little game match. Just about to reach slow in the game there. So he's almost into the last minute. Right, another break and play. Just finished the game here. We're so close to it finishing. Here's Boston. Another RSW. Who do you think will win the World Cup? I actually don't know. I think France still the favourites, and then Ireland. I think that home ground advantage does put France right up there. Yeah, obviously you can't write off the Springboks. I don't know, actually, he's going to do it in the end. And the Aviva's ready to rock. It's ready to rock. It's literally 65 seconds. Look at all the celebrations going on over there on the side of the field. It's a good line there from England. Watchalong, he's still looking to run over players. It looks like Peter O'Mahony's back on, by the way. McAvan Polo with some good handling there. Anthony Watson down the side here. 40 seconds left. Time ticking away. The singing has started in the Aviva Stadium. Mitchell goes to Mario Tojo. Last chance over here for England to score a consolation try. Ireland can't lose now. Joe Marchand, good tackle there coming from Conor Murray. Last move of the game here. We're 5 seconds away. So this will be the last play, unless there's a penalty. Owen Farrell. Long ball out towards Lewis Laidler. Mac Hansen's there to make the tackle. And he wants to get over that ball as well. Ball is available though for Alex Mitchell. Goes to Dan Cole. Big moment for him today, making his 100th appearance for England. The siren has gone. We are into extra time here. Show and go there from Owen Farrell. High tackle advantage. So this will not be the last play of the game. Ball back inside. Alex Mitchell. Let's put it in behind. They'll go back for the penalty. So England will be able to kick this to the corner. Right, last bit of the game here. Thanks for the stream. Says thank you very much. Yeah, I'm very, very, very happy to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you've got some new I think we've got some new faces in here, which is pretty cool. Please do remember to subscribe, by the way, if you are new, so that you can come join us in all the various streams, especially when it comes to box streams. I think it's absolutely mental out here. Over 300 people watching. The nice, good stream for today. And next week, we get back to the URC action. Champions Cup coming up as well. Curry Cup as well. So lots of stuff still to come. England trying to finish with a bit of a flurry here. Trying to own that anymore. Jamie George. He's been held back, and I will be desperate to finish with not conceding a try. I mean, it's not going to matter in the end. They've won the Grand Slam already, but they'll want to win it in style. Owen Farrell starting to change. The angle goes back to Henry Slade. Henry Slade brought down by Conor Murray. Jack Conan over the ball, but misses out. Now Vanapola presents well to Mitchell. Mitchell to Jamie George. He's paid the full 80, by the way. Ben Curry now. Lots of phases here for England. I'll tell you what, at this rate, they might even get old Curry back. Willis. Mitchell throws the ball to no one, and Watchalong is tracking back, and Conor Murray, I tell you, he's been everywhere since coming back on. Owen Farrell tosses it. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a try. It's going to be a try. Oh, so it's forward. Okay. And there it is. Ireland are the Six Nations champions. A Grand Slam for the men in green. The #1 team in the world continues their march, and how impressive have they been? People, thank you very much for jumping by. It was a very cool stream, a lot of fun. We'll see you guys all next time. Please do smash like on the way out. Please do subscribe to the channel as well if you are new, and we'll see you guys all next time.